executive session, 1 VSA 313A3. The appointment or employment or evaluation of a public officer or employee, provided that the public body shall make a final decision to hire or appoint a public officer or employee in an open meeting and shall explain the reasons for its final decision during the open meeting. John Hurd, 6-month review.
The motion that I put here has Andrew Finney's name in there, just throw that out.
I'm happy to move it. I move to enter executive session per 1 VSA subsection 313A3, the appointment or employment or evaluation of public officer or employee, provided that the public body shall make a final decision to hire or appoint a public officer or employee in an open meeting and shall explain the reasons for its final decision during the open meeting, and invite John Hurd and the town administrator to join the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Everybody please, wait in there, outside, while we're in the executive session. Item 3, additions or deletions to the agenda.
I have one, came in today. We want to add a letter of support for the FCC license renewal for the Londonderry Rescue Squad, and I don't know, put it under
12D.
business.
Where are you putting it?
12D.
12D, so it'll be last item before adjourn.
Anyone care to make a motion?
I move to add to the agenda a letter of support for the FCC license for the
For the
Voluntary,
Londonderry
rescue squad.
Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 4, minutes approval, meeting of 1/20/2026.
I move to approve the minutes of the select board meetings of 1/20/2026.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5, select board pay orders.
I move to approve the pay orders for payroll and accounts payable.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 6, announcements and correspondence.
So announcements are the South Londonderry Village wastewater system Phase 2 was selected as a regional priority project, which is really good news. This designation opens the door for additional funding, such as NBRC, which is Northern Borders Regional Commission, I believe, which actually opened today, and it's due on the 27th of this month. So we are all systems go. Karen Garrity of KG Consulting, who's the grant writer who helped us with the CDBG DR grants, is helping us with this go around as well. So we just logged into the portal today and started the pre-application process. RFPs for the Spring Hill Culvert construction, that's due on February 26th at 2 p.m. And there's also another one for the town hall window restoration, which is due on February 13th at 5 p.m. And then correspondence that's included in the board's meeting packet is a liquor license event permit, just FYI. There's a thank you card from Rita Morse appreciating the naming of the John Morse room, the room we're in right now, after her late husband. And there's a memo from Anand Fidel on updates to the town hall renovation project.
Sounds good, thank you. Item 7, visitors and concerned citizens. 7A, Donna Corpy, Winter Road maintenance concerns.
Okay, I do have a handout for anyone who is interested. And everyone, I apologize because of the speech impediment in Nashville. If you can't hear me, please don't hesitate to actually repeat myself, or you can follow me on the handout. So I'm basically here to express concern about a number of residents that I have spoken to about our winter road maintenance. And I've attached a number of documents that I make reference to throughout this presentation. So first of all, the winter road policy, as it's been posted to the website, has not been updated since 2015. And if we rely on those provisions, I want to draw attention to, first of all, the use of salt and sand section. Item 2 of that section refers to the ineffectiveness of the application of salt at temperatures below 20. I have personally witnessed multiple occasions when they are out applying salt when the temperature is way below 20 degrees. Then, in the general provisions section, the following provision is made. The state policy for Routes 100 is, and I quote, full width bare pavement as soon as practical next working day following storm. Observation indicates that salt is being applied throughout a snowstorm only later to be plowed off during that very same storm. That seems to be against the policy. Unnecessary and wasteful use of salt while bringing up an onslaught of other questions and concerns. So some of the questions are, why are we not following the V-Tran winter maintenance policy while at the same time quoting it in our outdated policy? The V-Tran map shows routes 110 in the green zone, and you'll see that on page 10 of their policy, and offers a description on page 2 of how zones should be prioritized. Again, we are not applying their guidelines. Does the town follow chloride reduction guidelines in the state control plan? Do we provide the appropriate and ongoing training of our road crew? There is often residual grain salt on our town roadways several days after a storm when the roads are dry. I've included some photographs. Is this not an overuse of salt? Is the environmental impact laid out and presented in the Winooski Conservation District Bulletin taken into consideration? That's included on page 8 of the V-Tran plan. And I have included a copy of that bulletin. Beyond the environmental impact is the concern over the corrosive nature of salt. This impacts our asphalt, much of which is brand new on Winhall Hollow Road in particular, along with the vehicles owned by both the town and its residents. Again, I've spoken to multiple people who issue real concern over that. As I research the impacts of heavily salting our roadways, more concerns come to light. I strongly urge our board members to read the documentation presented, do additional research, and make changes to decrease the cost both environmentally and fiscally to the town and its residents. I also look forward to hearing the progress is being made. Thank you.
Well, one thing I'd like to state first is you mentioned Route 111 in this in multiple occasions. We have no,
I understand
we don't do anything with
that, but the policy making reference to the state policy indicates that we are following the state's guidelines for 111. I don't think we're doing that.
we don't have a bare roads policy.
And they don't either.
I know.
But why are we not following the policies that we make reference to in our own policy?
Melissa?
Why hasn't the policy been updated since 2015?
It's a good question. Plenty of policies probably haven't been.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that is on my to-do list is to research an updated road policy. And I did go through VLCT, which in the past has been our go-to for updated templates. They don't have such a thing. They actually referred me back to the state's road policy. So that's as far as I got with that before I got pulled off onto other things. But it is one of the very many policies in the town that need to be updated.
And a policy that is made also needs to be implemented. It makes no sense just to put it on paper and then not have anyone following through to make sure that we are following that very policy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely agree.
I can tell you though that Josh has had all the trucks calibrated for the right consistent amount of salt and sand.
Well, it's consistently a lot. If you look at the pictures that I took, which are on the last page of my presentation, it's atrocious when you drive down a dry road and it literally is bouncing off the undercarriage of your vehicle to the point where you can hear it.
Yeah, are these Route 11 and Route 100?
Yeah, it's a state road.
Yeah, so the state plows and sands those
Yes.
roads, not us. The road, these pictures that you took.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
that's Windhow Hollow Road.
This is Windhill Hollow Road?
And I probably should have noted on my picture.
Yeah,
Have you had a chance
it's just
to
a road.
talk with our road foreman about these issues? Can I suggest, Tom, that you convene a meeting with Mrs. Corpy and with Josh just to sort of talk it through? Or get some, just answer questions? I mean, I was ticking off all the questions you're raising in here. I think it's worth a conversation just to sort of figure out what we are doing and if there are certain policies we are following or need to be updated to talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, I can talk to Josh.
I would agree.
Yeah. I appreciate your work on this. Can you share where that comes from? Are you an environmental specialist
No,
or?
I am just very concerned about it. I've been concerned about it for a number of years. I concern myself with the wildlife. I concern myself with what it's doing to the aquifer, what it's doing to the water systems and people who live close to the town roads who are oftentimes downhill from the roads. And it's essentially a proven fact that salt gets into the drinking water supply.
Sounds like it's time for us to look at it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And frankly, I've heard comments from others that we in this town seem to salt our roads more than any other town around us. More than the state even.
I don't know the answer to that, but I'm sure there's a way to figure that out, yeah.
I'm sure there's a way to figure it out, but I don't have an answer to that. I don't
Yeah.
know what the state uses, how much they apply, and I don't specifically
can-
know how much Josh applies.
I can
applies.
just imagine though, with our litigious society, that making sure that we salt as much as we can to avoid traffic accidents may be one of the motivations. But, you know, how do you equate that or balance that with water safety? I know, it's a
And
challenge.
the policy makes reference to keeping the roads safe for school bus travel. Well, in those instances, when there is a major snowstorm, school is canceled. And that's why the policy makes reference to the next day.
It sounds like you've done an extraordinary amount of work and research, and we appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to Josh about having a meeting with you.
Okay, thank you.
Does that feel okay?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Great,
Sounds good, thank you.
thank you, Tom.
7B, Heather Stevenson, Select Board Diversity Concern.
Hi, thank you. I've prepared some remarks because I don't have a lot of time this evening, and it feels like an efficient way to get through my thoughts, and if I do need to step out, so I can see, sure, sorry, I'll wait. Yeah, sure. My email to you all about diversity isn't new. I try to be transparent in conversations with you and within the broader community, and I know I'm not alone in these observations. My recent bylaw review, hearing that Martha will not be running again, and seeing others continue long-term service are what prompted me to reach out again. I want to address what's often described as a volunteer problem. I don't believe this is simply about people not stepping forward. People volunteer when board culture feels open, respectful, and worth their time. And when participation is accessible with reasonable balance between in-person and remote options, board culture and governance practices shape who feels welcome to serve. When board members leave or raise concerns about ethics or culture, the best practice is to review those experiences and implement improvements. Exit interviews have been done in the past, but to my knowledge, no visible steps have followed. Whether intentional or not, that sends a message to current and future volunteers. Our town has grown and has changed. It's made up of many different people, yet the board does not reflect that diversity. I also want to talk about how candidates are recruited and selected. Right now, there are no clear guidelines for desired skills, perspectives, or community representation. Voting often happens from the floor without voters knowing who the candidates are or why they're running. That unintentionally favors people who are already known or already serving rather than informed choice. I think voting from the floor is great, but there are also ways to inform voters to complement that process. Without clear term limits or expectations for turnover, long-standing service can unintentionally crowd out new leadership. This is not a criticism of experience. Regular turnover is a governance best practice. It supports renewal, succession planning, and a healthy board. Today, the board does not reflect the range of people who live in Londonderry, in many ways, but particularly women. This isn't just a representation issue, this is also a governance issue. With upcoming openings, I'm asking the board to look inward as well as outward, strengthen board culture and transparency, proactively recruit a broader range of candidates, set clear guidelines for board composition, ensure participation is accessible, and meetings are remotely accessible with participation options, and give voters information they need to make informed choices. If the board wants broader participation, and it should, it has to address not just who isn't stepping forward, but why. Thank you.
My first comment is we can't control who runs for the select board. That's for anyone who steps up to the plate.
As far as the remote piece is concerned, the board is getting kind of used to having remote meetings, so that's good. And it's in the budget to get better equipment. So assuming the budget passes, we're going to start that process in the near future. So that'll be something that will definitely be coming to a Zoom near you. And I agree that increases access.
Yeah, the access.
And it also can increase board access because you can be at home with your child. And also wherever you are, yeah. I mean, there's limits to that because you also want to be fully engaged, but it does create access. It also creates more complexity for this board and for my position, so we have to balance that out, but it's in the works.
How does it make it more complex?
So as a former chair myself, it makes it a lot harder to control a meeting, especially if you have select board members online. To make sure that you're keeping track of everybody that's online in the room that wants to speak, that those people if there's select board members on there, that they have a chance to vote. It just makes it much more complicated to run the meeting and also participate as a select board member. And as far as my job is concerned, I would be the one running the technology and also doing what I'm doing now. So it's just an added piece. I'm fine with it. I'm just saying that it does add complexity.
It just seems in this day and age that people
Yeah.
are much more used to having meetings online and how to manage those.
Yep. It's just something to get used to.
It feels like it's been a slow process because we've gotten the owl and we've got the technology or what looks like pieces of the technology. But I'm feeling enthusiasm from Eileen to make this happen. And that's, in my 3 years, that's a big step forward, so, yeah.
Melissa?
So in the past, I know that there was a time when there were candidate nights that were open to folks who were thinking of throwing their hat in the ring. But my question is, you all know who is going to run again and who's not going to run again. So what are you doing as a board to get out into the community and identify where maybe you have shortcomings on the board, and you might find somebody that you can reach out to and have them come and sit at a meeting or talk them through to see if they would like to put their hat in the ring. I know that's a best practice on many boards that I have sat on. When a seat is beginning to open up, we automatically as a board start looking to fill that seat. We don't wait until town meeting day for someone to raise their hand.
I've put it out there to many, many people. And so far, I've had no takers. So I don't know.
I agree with Melissa, and I think it may make sense to make an announcement on social media, put posters up, get the word out every way we can about a meeting that is being held of the current board, and having the various members whose term has run out or they are leaving for one reason or another, explain what their position has involved and what they feel like the shortcomings and the strengths may be, so that it might open it up to more people giving it some consideration. As it stands, I agree with Melissa. A lot of people don't even know or consider running until the day of the town meeting. That's very, very short-sighted.
I would agree, Melissa, that we as a board haven't talked about it. I mean, I served on many nonprofit boards, and typically it is a whole recruitment process. You identify where your weaknesses and your strengths are, and you begin to identify people. We've not talked about that as a collective group. I've individually been reaching out, so, yeah.
So me personally, I talk to anyone in the community that wants to come up and talk to me about it. It's not towards any specific group of the community. Whoever wants to come up and talk about it, I tell them about the position, and hopefully they want to have interest in running.
But that in itself is a limitation on how many people are personally interacting with you to know that there's an opening on the board. I think we need to make things more public.
Eileen, you just sent an email out, didn't you, about it? I'm trying to think.
I sent more broadly, I sent something about vacancies.
Right. So,
But I also, I mean, that's a good good strategy. From my own experience, it's a process that doesn't necessarily come from this board. It comes from the community, and so the community needs to be able to support their candidates. My experience is that it takes 3 times to ask somebody before they'll actually run. So, people say, no means no. Well, in this case, no doesn't always mean no the first time. People say no automatically because they're it's a big step. They have a lot on their plate. They're not sure they can take the time, and then they think about it. Think, well, maybe I can do this. You repeatedly ask people that you think are going to be good on the board, and then support them in that choice. Get their name out there. Very importantly, let them vent after their first meeting. Really have a social support network within the community rather than on this board, because this board is an elected board, and these are all individuals that don't necessarily know or like each other. They might like each other, they might know each other, but they don't have to because they're all elected. So it's very important for the community to step up and get those people out as well.
Can you all say more about your governance policy? Like what does that look like? And how do you access that information?
What do you mean by governance
Like
policy?
is there anything written in your policy about what your board looks like, how you recruit as a board, a community, things like that?
It's not I mean, it's because it's a government elected official kind of thing.
So
It's
that's
not like
kinda what I'm
it's
asking.
not like a nonprofit.
Right,
So it's a different animal.
so, like, what are your rules and norms? Like, where do you access that information?
Like the rules of procedure,
Yeah,
they should be on the
Like-
website.
It's on the
Hopefully.
website.
on the
If
website?
they're not,
And we
you know.
vote them in every year,
Yeah.
I mean, every, I
Yeah,
guess every
when you
year, so
reorg,
there is a,
you're gonna re-up your rules and procedures, and there's
Is there
opportunity to change
anything in
those.
there? No. Okay.
No,
probably not.
Okay.
no, because at the end of the day,
Well, there's
it's
the
a state
ethics
statute that
declaration
says
that
that,
you all signed.
what's that?
There's an ethics, like, declaration, it touches upon that in there, I believe.
There's an ethics ordinance that gets
Right.
passed, that got
Right.
passed. It's not, I mean, it's tricky because they're elected officials, so, and there's no recall, provision in the state either, so once they're elected, they're there. There's not a
Well, yeah,
lot
that's-
of, there's not a lot, there's no
that's
state
correct.
statutes that say like you have to have a procedure or a policy or anything like that, they're just a board. So,
So there are no guidelines or criteria, it's really a popularity contest?
there's always guidelines, and
And
as
where
far
are
as,
they posted?
they're probably on the website, they're VLCT guidelines, but they're just guidelines.
Because we have a diverse population, we have people who've lived here a long time, we have flatlanders as they're called, but we all pay taxes, we all should have a voice. We have young people with young children, we have older people, and I think it would be healthy to have representation in a lot of these categories, to give a more, a fuller voice.
I don't think it's legal to mandate who's on the board.
No, I'm not saying mandate, I'm just saying, you know, look for various characteristics that might
Yep.
give it
Gotcha.
a more robust, profile.
Well, I'll
My
say, if you have people that, you know, are reluctant to run that you think would be really good, I would be more than happy to speak with them as well. Having been in the position myself.
Melissa?
Are there term limits for,
No,
and is that common in the state, or can it be done by town?
No.
Or, no, so
there's no term limits, no.
at all,
No,
ever?
nope,
It's like the Supreme Court?
yep.
Jesus,
I don't think I'll be serving much.
that seems just a little
Yep, there's no
short-sighted.
term limits, there's no recall, provision.
Seems a little short-sighted.
I mean,
Speak to your legislatures
No,
about
I
that
agree
and
with
see
Rowdy
if
was
they
on
can
the
change
board
it.
for like 40 years.
But I thought Donna's comment
I know,
about
17.
having enough advance notice so that people can begin to think about it is a great idea. And the fact that I mentioned it 2 meetings ago, I think, when Doug Fryman was here and was sort of asking what his job as moderator is gonna be on March 2nd or 3rd, whenever it was, he asked. And he asked both Jim Fleming and myself. And I said at that point, because I had made the decision, that I just couldn't continue to do this. So hopefully that was broadcasted through the minutes and through GNAT and the like, so that other people could step up. But it does take encouragement to get somebody to want to do this. It's
I also think it would be great, and this may not be your job, but I know as a citizen trying to be engaged in the process, that I don't always know who's going to be running. I don't find out until town meeting day. And if there's a way of getting the word out, the town I used to come from, you had your name, there was a petition that was signed, you had to have X number of signatures
Right.
before you could run. I don't know if that's the case here.
No.
But that really helped get
Maybe if we
word
had
out
the-
on
I mean,
who,
I would-
on who was
I like
running.
the candidates.
But we certainly could
Informed
put
voter, yeah.
on the website what people's terms are. That's what I've always gone to, is it,
Yeah,
We-
and they are there, I mean, it's
They're probably buried,
maybe
but-
not, it's on the select board page that says
the
your term
candidates
is up
like
at a
that.
certain point.
I think the candidate night is a great idea.
Yeah.
We had that for a while, but it was mostly mostly people from boards attended.
Well,
That
maybe
was
we,
it. There'd be like 5 people.
Well, but.
well, maybe
you-
we can try bringing it back and,
It's also
But that's-
symbolic, I think,
Yeah.
holding a meeting like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I agree.
It's democratic. Eileen, can you specify, when I was running for, Justice of the Peace, I had to get signatures for that.
Justice of the Peace, I believe, is a state statute, that's by
Gotcha.
Australian
Thank you.
ballot.
Thank you.
But, Londonderry does their
It's not
select board,
really-
as you know, by the floor, so
Yeah.
there's no petition.
Okay.
It's new to me as well, I don't know how that works.
Okay, thank you.
Heather?
So what I'm hearing is Londonderry does it that way, but not a lot of places do it that way.
Some towns vote from the floor, some towns vote, via Australian ballot.
And then,
But you can't have a combination of both. It's one way
so
or
it's
the other.
either or.
It's for candidates, yeah.
Okay.
How,
And you can't just have a ballot for candidates and then have a open meeting like we do. It's either
Well,
you Australian
no, you
ballot
can-
or you,
No, you can, because,
You can.
yeah, you can. So for candidates, you can have Australian ballot, and
You
then
can?
you can have, yeah.
Oh.
And then the Putney does it that way. So, so all the elected officials are on the ballot. You know who they are by whenever January
oh,
20th
you
or
could do
whatever.
That seems so logical.
So,
that does seem like a,
so, and I can research how that happens. I assume it would be a warrant article on a town meeting to say that we're going to do
so we're a little
Australian
late for this
ballot.
year to do it as a warrant
yeah, unless we
item.
did a
Yeah.
special.
We can't,
meeting.
but maybe for next year.
Seems like maybe a
Yeah.
conversation we had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to getting back to Aileen's comment about you ask a person first and they say no. Then maybe by the third time they consider it. But if you were having a special meeting in order to try to inform people, rather than them having to be asked in a second and third time, if there was a special meeting, Aileen could say, okay, I understand your reservations, but why don't you take time to attend our meeting and learn a little more about it?
Is there a one pager that shows the responsibilities of what a select person does?
I would probably find something like that. I'm sure somebody has that.
VLCT might have something.
Yeah.
What was that?
VLCT might have something.
have a
That might
short,
be helpful, because
Yeah.
people just don't know.
yeah.
You know, you have to meet twice a month, you know, what are your responsibilities, the time commitment, is there time outside of these meetings that you need to meet, or pay
And I-
attention to stuff?
And I hope people know that I, just like Eileen has offered, would be, and Jim has offered, be happy to sit with people and talk about what's involved, because it is a bit of a,
I think it would be helpful to
black
start
box.
with a one-page description
Yeah.
of what's required of a select
Yeah.
person.
Couldn't we have, as one of the pages in the doings in Derry that comes out, have a whole,
we have our editor right here in front of you.
Just
More
check
work.
this issue.
Yeah.
And have a whole-
But yeah.
education about what
Yeah.
the position is, and that we want diversity, and
Mhm.
we want, and one would think everybody would want diversity to represent all the voices.
And I think actually, to your point, is not only doings in Derry, but social media and publish it in multiple places so that you're not missing one style, so to speak, of reader that may not necessarily see one place that it's presented.
I mean, looking out at the room, I have this image of the same thing I hear happening in communities all over America, where particularly women or African American groups identify the fact that they need to have more representation. And so they work hard to get women to step up and stand for candidacy or the like. And our little informal group here is doing that. I mean, I think that's what we have to do, is be grassroots about encouraging and teaching and whatever, in ways to get people to think about it. And maybe the stepwise process is come and volunteer on a committee, whether it's a planning commission or a housing commission, and get a feel for how that feels. works, and then they might consider stepping up into a select board spot.
And we do keep a running list of vacancies at the post office.
Yeah, and there's a list on the website now as well.
Is that under the select board?
Um,
Where would one find
make
that?
the liar out of me, hold on.
The new website looks great, by
It
the way,
does.
though.
Good.
Like-
That's all Eileen's work, yeah.
But,
Nice job.
Great job.
let's see what we did here. There was a news item on January 9th saying seeking volunteers. Where does it take you? Takes to your volunteer opportunities page. So right now it's only linked to that news item, I think, but I could link it elsewhere too. Let me make a note of that. But just so everybody's aware, this is what we're looking for so far. We are looking for one regular member of the Planning Commission, one regular member of the Town Hall Renovation Committee, one regular member of the Housing Commission, Wyndham Regional Commission representative. That's a really important one that I think we have one person, but that's really important. Deerfield Valley Communications Union District Governing Board, we have one for an alternate representative, and the same thing with the Southern Vermont Communications Union District Governing Board. There's one alternate representative that's vacant.
So it sounds like we need to put 2 upcoming
And then there's,
select board seats.
So, and I think that's another important point. Even if people are re-upping, it's not their seat. It's a seat. So it's very important for the community to know that you can run for a position even if somebody said that they're going to run again. Competition is actually really healthy. Just putting that out there. So Jim Fleming's Jim Fleming's position is open, and his is a 2-year, I think. His is a 2-year term.
3.
And then Martha Dale's chair is open, and hers is a 3-year term.
Why are some 2 and others 3?
To stagger it, so there's 3 that are 3-year terms, and there are 2 that are 2-year terms. And so every year you have 2 that are up.
That's state statute. Anything else?
So could we see a list of responsibilities? Is that something that you could pull together quickly
yeah.
without a lot
Quickly?
Well, I just
If
think
you want to
it's
get it to me, I can get it
intimidating.
out to some folks.
It's intimidating unless people know what they're
Sure.
getting into. Right?
Let me put something together.
I mean,
by the end of the week.
PCL's on the website.
Yeah.
Places?
Checklist. It's not really a checklist, but we'll just call it that for now.
And I encourage everybody to speak to people about being on the select board. Try to find a candidate.
Yeah, and let them know that, the current board members are happy to talk, and I'm happy to talk as well, either in person or on the phone.
Always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being available to do that. I think it's really important.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming and speaking about it.
Item 8, roads and bridges. 8A is updates. Josh is not here, so we don't have any, but. Item 9, town official business. We don't have anything. Item 10, transfer station, solid waste management. 10A is updates. I have no updates at this time. Item 11, old business. We have nothing. Item 12, new business. Review and approve Spring Hill Culvert Inspection Services bid.
Okay, so, this is a TAP-funded project, and so there are requirements for going out to bid and reviewing the bids themselves. So Matt, myself, and Josh got together last week before we got together, we scored them using a score sheet independently on a variety of
I was
different
impressed by that. I thought
reasons.
that was
Yeah,
very data-driven, yeah.
yeah. And Josh wasn't able to do it because he was up for like 9,000 hours plowing, so approximately. But Matt and myself did the independent scoring, and long story short, GPI got a total of 188, and MSK Engineers got a total of 167. And then we opened up the cost estimates, and GPI was total estimated cost was $51,460, and MSK Engineers was $44,000. And so our recommendation, based on the technical proposals, is to enter into a contract with GPI.
I was very unimpressed by MK blah blah blahs. How long those guys had worked for the company. Almost all of them had only been in there since 2024,
Yeah.
except the one principal, and I thought that was really
Yeah,
strange.
that was a point against them, for sure.
That was what? A point?
That was definitely a point against them,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter, they both
And
showed
then
it.
as far as the difference in cost is concerned, MSK estimated, I believe, 4 weeks, and GPI estimated 6. So it's really, we don't know how long it's gonna take, but GPI, they padded it, so. Well, hopefully they padded
And they in turn hire a construction company, is that right?
We
Or they
hired,
are the,
so this is part of it, so,
just
the
the
construction
engineers.
piece is out to bid right now.
yes,
The inspection company has to be separate from the design company
Yeah.
and the construction company, so we're actually gonna have, at the end of the day, we're gonna have 3 different engineering,
yep.
or 3 different groups working on this.
Tap grants.
Yeah,
Never,
it's tough, yes.
never again.
Yeah, so, that's that.
I swear this tap grant adds more money to it than it ever
It's
could.
definitely been, yeah, and more complexity.
Oh, yeah. You get a grant, but you spend twice as much money to get the thing done. Anyone care to make a motion?
I'm happy to. All right. I move to accept the proposal bid from, is it GPI?
GPI, yeah.
To provide services relating to construction inspection services estimated to cost, somebody fill in the number.
51,460.
$51,460, and to authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary for the hiring of said contractor to conduct the necessary work.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
12B, review and approve Pingree Park tree removal bid.
Okay, so I just got an email from, I gotta find it again, from, Liam, cause he had a parks meeting tonight to get a recommendation for who to go with, and they recommended, the bid from TK Trucking. And he said the main justification for spending the extra $2,000 was because the bid was more thorough and the board felt comfortable that the work would be done to the level they were looking for.
Yeah, I was reading that one back here. We'll pull all stumps away, topsoil or stumps. I mean, I'm good with the recommendation. If that's what they feel is best. Alright, so where's that? TK truck. Just filling it in.
So their bid was, for tree removal only was 5,000, for stump removal only was 3,900, so the total for both is 8,900.
Yep.
And the other bid we had was Hunter at 69.
And Wise,
Yeah, and
and Wise
Wise
Oak,
No, Wise Oak wasn't there?
8750,
Didn't see the Wise Oak one.
plus the 24.
In there.
Was that 8750 plus the 24 for both?
Sorry, what?
For Wise Oak, is it the 8750 plus the 2400?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like 11.
Anyone can make a motion.
Sure.
He's got it in his, I didn't see it in mine, but probably is. somewhere.
It's kind of like right in front of the TK one, kind of behind this.
Yeah.
I move to accept the proposal from TK Trucking to provide services relating to the tree removal estimated to cost $8,900, and to authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary for the hiring of the contractor to conduct the necessary work.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 12C, approved 2/17/2026 select board meeting change for
Oh, you
President's
forgot
Day.
the FCC license.
That's,
No, that's
Steve.
next.
That's next.
That's
Oh, I'm
next.
sorry.
That's-
But thanks for
Oh,
forgot about that.
it's Steve.
Or you
Yep.
forgot about it. Okay.
Sorry.
you good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, 2/16 is President's Day.
2/17.
16.
2/16 is President's Day. 2/17
Oh, okay.
is the day that we would
They
move
move it.
the meeting to. If you're amenable to that.
I'll make a motion if everyone's good with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm good with it.
I move to move the regular select board meeting of 2/16/2026 to 2/17/2026 due to the President's Day holiday.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 2 days before, check.
No,
Look at my calendar.
All right.
12D, FCC license application, Londonderry Rescue Squad.
Okay, so this came up literally like 3 hours ago. Apparently, the Keene Dispatch usually re-ups their license, and I guess I kind of forgot, I don't know. So they're just asking for a letter of support so that they can reinstate their,
Just a letter of support?
Yep.
yeah.
Done.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, so, if you just make a motion that includes having, Tom sign it, because his name on it.
I move that the select board endorse, or sign on to a, I'm not gonna say this right. Proposal to renew the FCC license for the Londonderry Volunteer Rescue Squad, and for somebody to sign,
Authorize Tom to sign.
authorize Tom to sign any paperwork.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Who wants the last one?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.